All right, all right, all right. Carnivore Soldier coming at you from Austin, Texas. Welcome back to the Hump Day Hangout. This is another Wednesday. You've made another week. Countdown is on. We've got KetoCon coming up around the corner, last weekend of May. And March 1st, prices go up by $50. So right now, tickets are about $250 for the weekend, and I've got a $50 discount, which I'll be introducing a little later. So you can get tickets for $199 for the weekend. And I will be interviewing the CEO and founder of KetoCon in the coming weeks. And she will actually be joining us on a Hump Day Hangout too, to talk to all you guys. So that's going to be exciting stuff. So today, bringing back another new regular. This is John Laspina, the carnivore teacher. I just love having him on because he's just got such a great style of teaching, and he's rebuilding his channel. And he's just an excellent guy to talk with. So let's bring John on and he'll introduce himself. Hey, John. Why don't you introduce yourself to the new people that may not have known you? So just introduce yourself real quick. Where are you from?
Sure. Thank you for having me back. This is my third time on, and I'm excited to be here. I'm John Laspina. I'm the carnivore teacher on YouTube and on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. And I won't go through the whole I lost my channel spiel again, but I'm back up and running. So if you're interested, check me out. Subscribe if you like. And I talk about carnivore from a teacher perspective.
So Threads, I've never been on it.
Yeah.
Is it actually doing something?
It's like Twitter. It acts like Twitter. It's not as big as Twitter or X. I'm supposed to say X now. So I'm just on it as one of the other ones, and I post. I don't read that as much as X. So that's I think other people are also not reading it as much as X, and that's why it's not growing. But it's up there.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I might check it out later. I mean, because it never hurts to have more exposure, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we were just talking backstage about some of the things I wanted to talk about. And by the way, any of you guys, there's no hard agenda here tonight. This is a Q&A. So if you guys have questions, want us to answer or to comment on, please throw QQQ in front of it so we can go ahead and do that. One of the things I wanted to talk about was I had an interview with a paratrooper. I don't know if you saw it, John. It was last week. And we were talking about, he had healed a lot of his injuries, but I shared with him that, I used to drink pretty regular. And I don't drink like I used to. I just don't find the need to. I don't desire it as much as I did. I don't need it. And I think, not that I was hardcore addicted or anything, but it was definitely an unproductive habit that left. And then I talked to him about it, and he said the same thing. He had quit smoking and drinking after going carnivore, and not planned on it. He ran out and stopped buying new ones. And that's what happened to me. I ran out of, I just stopped after I drank a bottle, and it's like, all right, I just never went and bought another one. And it was like, okay. And now my veteran friends, they come over, they bring a bottle, and it sits there. It's sitting there. I've drank a couple of drinks with them, and it's set there. I haven't touched it because I don't know. I'm too busy doing stuff. I don't need it. And I've talked to others who have actually quit. I don't know if you know, what's his name? He's a really heavy guy with a cowboy hat. It's the Carnivore Cure. Carnivore Cure.
Yeah.
He's lost like 300 or 400 pounds, and he quit his gambling addiction. He said the monkey's off his back. Like, he doesn't feel the need to go gambling. And so I kind of dug into it a little bit, and there's a lot of research out there, and the research points to fasting, that fasting helps people with addiction. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you have any thoughts or insight on this at all?
Are you asking me or the people?
You, John.
Okay. Sorry. They can put their questions too about it.
Yeah.
Well, talking from personal experience, I had an addiction to sugar. So when I got off of the carbs and sugar, and a couple of months went by, I have no desire for anything sweet. I really don't. And I don't want to touch it because I'm abstaining 100%, because like an alcoholic, if you give them one drink, they're going to have that thing connected in their brain. They're going to want it over and over again. So the addiction's gone. I had an obsessive compulsive disorder all my life of biting my nails and ripping the skin. I could not stop. And that's not an addiction, but it is a compulsive disorder, which might be in the same family as an addiction. And that, I noticed, just disappeared. Just like you said, you didn't just He didn't want to go to the store and buy the alcohol. He didn't want to buy the cigarettes. I just stopped. My fingers are not near my mouth anymore. I don't have that desire. So something about fasting, ketones, repairing in the brain, it's doing something that's bringing us back to where we're supposed to be. Whatever was wrong that caused an addiction or a compulsive disorder gets fixed with fasting and ketones. It's amazing.
Yeah, and the link to the diet is that this is a fasting mimicking diet.
Yeah.
And so what it means is you can eat all the meat you want, but because you have no carbohydrates, your body stays in a fasted state. And that is what Dr. Chafee and several anthropologists think was the normal human state to be in, to not be a fed state, but to be in a fasted state. And that's why, like, when I go work out in the morning, John,
Fasted. I too.
I go fasted, and I get to this morning. I was an animal in there,
Yeah.
just like
Good.
cranking out and just doing my deadlifts, doing my lat pull downs, my rows, and just felt like a beast. And
Yeah.
I ran out of time. Didn't run out of energy. Did not run out of energy.
Yeah. It's limitless energy because we have all this body fat on our body. We're feeding off of the body fat, fatty
Right.
acids. Yeah. It's
And then if we
powerful.
do need, I'm going to share this. This is off of Gemini, which is Google Bard, and these are some of the benefits of fasting. So reduce cravings and withdrawal symptoms, and that is exactly why I think this diet is actually very successful, and the reason we can who have all failed diets in the past can actually succeed on this one, because once you remove the sugar 100% and sweeteners, your cravings go away. You're not fighting your body anymore.
And sweeteners is key. A lot of people,
yes.
I would say everybody is like, well, what can I replace it with? And then they look at all the sugar substitutes that all the keto sites say is okay. You're still feeding that addiction in the brain. Yeah.
That's the problem with that. Right. That's the problem with sweeteners. Sweeteners are 0 cal. They're not going to mess your blood sugar
pancreas,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But in the brain chemistry, you will be fighting yourself every day that you walk that. This is why it is so important to cut out all sweeteners. That's why Dr. Chafee says it. All these docs say that, cut it out. I mean, 100%.
Absolutely.
And you'll free yourself of the bonds. And these are the bonds I've freed. I mean, I don't do the alcohol anymore. The sugar. I was with you on the sugar, by the way. I was a hardcore sugar addict. And because sugar is in everything, right? And so I just ate everything that had sugar in it, from peanut butter to bread to whatever you want to list in processed foods, Quest bars, it all had sugar in it. And I loved it. And I structured my life around it. My daily walk was structured around getting sugar all day long.
Yeah, we didn't realize we did that because it was part of, and everybody does it around us. We all structure everything around getting at that addiction.
That's now, the next one's interesting. Improve self-control and decision-making. I find it much easier to get up and go to the gym. I find it much easier to get up and not even hit the couch in the morning, but go start doing chores and not even feeling like, oh, I got to go do this. It's like, I just get up and go. And then decision-making, my budgeting is daily now. I used to budget like once every couple of weeks. I hated doing my budget. I hated going to my checkbook, doing all the budget. Now every morning I do my budget. I love it. I love being on top of everything and just boom, boom, boom. It's so, I can't imagine if I would have known this my whole life, what my career could have been like. I mean, not that it wasn't successful. It was fine. But I think I would have been a better employee, a better soldier. Everything I would have done would have been better based on this last year. And by the way, I'm almost at a year, guys. This is my carniversary is March 22nd.
Oh, you're getting there. Almost there.
We're getting really close.
Good for you.
My carniversry is coming up.
Have a big T-bone steak or have
1 month away, basically.
Have something great. Yeah.
So, and everything in my life has trended in that direction. And then increased neurogenesis. So actually regrowing brain cells. And this is all improvements you can have you don't have to fast. Fasting may kick it, kickstart and get you and get you out of a sticky spot when you hit a plateau or something. But you can just do this diet as long as you're strict and don't have any of the sweeteners. You'll get these benefits. And that's why we're so amazed. And then the last one was the inflammation, reduced inflammation. I think that is where all the healing we see come in, is once the inflammation's gone, your body can actually do what it's designed to do.
We feel like superhuman people, but it's actually the way we're supposed to feel all the time, right? That's why I say I'm 58. I feel 28. I feel 28 years old.
Yeah.
I've never. This is how I felt in my 20s, and unless you try it, you will see what we're talking about. And all these things that are in this list, they've all happened to me.
Yep. And these are scientific results of study. This is not my opinion. This is not. I'm just trying to put some facts with
Facts out there,
why
yeah.
these things might be happening to us, right? Why we might be experiencing this euphoria, this, I don't know. It's like someone turning the spigot on, right? And all of a sudden you have fresh water
Oh yeah.
coming
Looking
in.
at Crystal there, she says, "Do you know Eric with Cops and Campers? I met him. Yeah, he's a cool guy."
Oh
Another
yeah, she got a
carnivore.
question. So
Yeah,
where
she's
do
just
you
saying, "Do you know?"
know?
When I went to look at Boca, USA, in Boca, they had a symposium for metabolic health, and what a cool dude! I mean, he gave me this coin. He uses a coin instead of a business card. He gave me
Nice.
this big metal coin which showed Cops and Campers on one side and Keto 50. And he's helping me, like you are, rebuild my channel. He's pushing my
Nice.
name out there. Really cool guy. Lives when he's not traveling. He lives right up the road from me. So
this is these are challenge coins. In the military, we use them.
okay. Very
we
similar. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a metal coin. Now this one is actually my stoicism coin. Is Memento Mori. Is a death will come for us all, and I always have that one on my desk just because I want to make every day to live it as if it was my last day. Like, what would I when I'm making my decision points? Is like, if this is my last day, what would I do right now, right? And I like to think of that, so I keep it on my desk just because I know, it's very stoic. I know, but I think being stoic is kind of something that may happen to you too when you become carnivore, because now you're going to start really appreciating life. For me, I enjoy life so much more now than I really appreciate it, that I've become more stoic in my stand, my daily stand. So, okay. So this is a question on the fasting. So how long do you need for fasting? Right. So you don't even have to do intermittent. You can just eat this diet and you are in a fasted state, and you don't need to aid this diet, especially if you're just starting out. I don't like people to start out, just my personal, don't do carnivore plus. Don't try to add to it. Master one thing first. Carnivore's like riding a bike without training wheels, right? You learn how to ride without training wheels before you pop a wheelie, right? Before you do a jump, right? So what you want to do is just get carnivore right. And you can do that by BBB&E, bacon, beef, butter, and eggs, or you can do it, line, whatever you want to do. And then if you want, once you get carnivore down, I think for over 100 days, in my opinion, then you can start introducing maybe intermittent. You'll probably be intermittent fasting automatically, because you'll probably just cut out breakfast like most of us do.
Yeah, most of us have 1 or 2 meals a day, and that's from the last meal to the next first meal is an intermittent fast. And then when you're only eating meat, it's fasting mimicking. So that's what we're talking about here, and you're getting protein and fat. So your pancreas is shooting out a little bit of insulin to get that protein into the cells, but not this enormous, huge amount of insulin to get sugar into the cells and then storing the sugar. And there's a whole, there's a whole roller coaster effect of hormones that happen when you overeat carbs and sugar. This way of eating is so healthy. Yeah. And it's the way we're supposed to eat.
It's so obvious that it's the way we're supposed to eat.
Yeah,
I mean, our body just starts working properly. Our brain starts working properly.
Yeah. Somebody talked about the bearded butchers there.
Okay.
You ever see them?
Yeah, I've seen them. They're great.
Man,
They're great.
when I saw them, I watched so many videos, and I've streamed them to my big screen TV where they put the shape of the cow on the table with tape. Yeah, and they take the pieces. I learned, I was like, this is where my meat comes from. Exactly. That is so cool. And then when I went to the grocery store, because I don't have a lot of farms around here, it's like I know what my cuts are now. I know what I'm buying. I feel a little more knowledgeable. So yeah, I love them. They're pretty cool. It's frozen. You're frozen. I'm not. What's going on here? Crap. Hope it's not me. Regarding liver consumption, how much is too much within a week? Larry, are you there? I don't know if Larry's frozen or I'm frozen on him, but I'll just keep on talking just in case I'm the one that has everybody's attention. How much I don't eat beef liver because I just can't stand it. And I've learned that if I want to eat beef liver, to cut it up into small pieces, put it in the freezer, and take them like pills. I like cod liver, and I buy them online in cans in their own cod liver oil. Oh, now he's completely gone. All right, hopefully he's dialing back in. So that's how I get my liver, and I do that a few times a week. I either have cod liver. If I'm not having cod liver, I'm having salmon or I'm having shrimp. So that's how I get my liver. Let's see if there's any other questions here. I'm assuming it's not my problem, it's Larry's problem. I think I'm running the show here. So let's see. Question. Hi, guys. What's the longest plateau you hit? Says AP. And do you know the reason you hit a plateau? I lost 35 pounds right away, and I've pretty much maintained for 5 years. And so I never hit a plateau. But the friends of mine who've had like 100 pounds to lose or 80 pounds to lose, they do go to one point in their weight loss and they hit a plateau, which is natural. It's normal. The body sees all this weight loss and says, whoa, and puts on the brakes, thinking it's preserving its life, survival mode. And all you have to do is push through it, either do some long-term fasting or beef up your exercise, or you just have to have vitamin P. You have to have patience, and you wait. And sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes it's more than 2 weeks, but the plateaus do always, you break through a plateau. If you were to put your weight loss on a line graph, you would see that you would have plateaus, and then it would continue to move, and plateaus and continue to move. So keep working on that. If you have weight loss, it will happen. Your body will optimize to your proper weight loss. All right. Can somebody type something in the chat so I know that you all hear me? And it's not Larry, it's not me or Larry. I want to make sure I'm not talking to myself here. Larry's frozen. Larry's probably rebooting. Okay. You don't seem, all right. So maybe it is Larry's side. That's weird. When we started up, I was the one who had the problem, and Larry, we get on like about 20 minutes early so we could fix any issues. All right. Thank you, Darth Carnivore. Cool name. All right. King, I hope you can see me too. All right. Questions. I'll answer questions till he gets back on. I'm reading the comments there. Carnivore's great, guys. I'm in the middle of writing an article. It'll be my 6th article with a publication called Healthy You, HealthyYoo. And the title of my article that I'm writing is called The Carnivore Way of Eating is the Proper Human Diet. And I go through why eating beef, lamb, pork, poultry, fish, and eggs is meant for our body, and how other animals, they have their species specific foods that are meant for their body, whether they're an amphibian or whether they're an omnivore or a fowl. They have to eat certain foods that are meant for their digestive system and intestinal tract. We have to eat meat. And can we eat fruits and vegetables? Some of those we can without any problems for some people, but it's not our optimal human diet because we get all our protein and fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals from animal products. All right, let's see what Lisa says. 9 months carnivore, enjoying my 2 meal a day, 11:30 first, second meal is 5 p.m. Exercise, intermittent fasting is great. You sound like me, Lisa. I eat around 11.
I'm back.
Hey, we had a nice discussion with that. We talked all about you. You're frozen though.
Yeah, I know.
What's going on? I thought it was me.
No, I thought it was too at first, but it turned out to be my hold on, my virtual camera is not working.
Well, it's on and off.
Yeah, I'm gonna it was
All right.
frozen. We restart it. You guys can hear me. That's important.
Yeah, we can hear you this time at least.
So yeah.
So I was just answering some questions they had here. Darth Carnivore, can you share a little bit about your story for those who may not have heard of it before? Which story, Darth? My losing my YouTube channel story? I kind of don't want to go through that again. I have bad memories of that.
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
So one of the things I saw before I left was someone asking about liver. And
Yeah,
the only
I
thing I
answered that, but
say,
let's hear yours.
well, what I would say is that I don't like liver, so I don't eat any. I eat egg yolks, and egg yolks have much of the same vitamins and minerals, or vitamins and nutrients we need in liver. And the other thing is, I think that we're not doctors, so we don't give medical advice. I can't tell you how much is enough or
Right.
not enough, but I know that you can eat too much liver, and I would check out Dr. Chafee's videos on that. He talks about that quite
Chafee
a bit.
talks about eating the amount. If you want to eat liver, you eat the amount in the context of the size of the organ compared to the size of the animal. Like people who
Yep.
eat too much liver, look at how that's one little organ in all of that animal meat. We should not be eating a lot of it. You can get vitamin A toxicity.
Yes.
I was telling people I just do cod liver because I hate liver too, but cod liver is good. I get it in
Yep.
cans. So, and of course, I have tons of egg yolks too.
Yeah, egg yolks are great.
Yeah.
And you'll get all, and Dr. Chafee doesn't need any organ meat at all. So
There you
you don't
go.
really
Yeah.
need it. I'm seeing all the things. Larry is gone. Larry is frozen.
Larry.
It's coming in now. Larry's frozen.
I was the
Yeah,
substitute teacher for a while. I stepped in.
that works, man. I knew you could handle it. That's why you're here today,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
That's great. So let's see.
Did you use
The
condiments?
condiments. Did you cover the condiments yet? There's a question.
No, I didn't. You want to do that?
In the beginning.
In the
Yeah, go ahead.
beginning. All right. In the beginning, I was keto and then ketovore. So yes, I used condiments. I was not carnivore at the beginning, but the condiments I used did not have high fructose corn syrup. They did not have any kind of seed oils. I either made them or I found them in the store that used avocado oil. Now, this is before I went full carnivore. Full carnivore, if you want a condiment, you can make it with egg yolks and cream. I mean, you can make some amazing dipping things with the foods that we eat. But you don't really need condiments. Salt is my main condiment that I use for meat. How about you, Larry?
Yeah, agreed. Now, if there was a safe condiment, I would say because the problem with condiments is they're vegetable based,
Yeah,
right? And you're
most
doing a
of them.
carnivore diet that's not vegetable based. So, and a lot of them are seed based, or and they have seasonings in them, and the seasonings are concentrated vegetables. That's why they
Right.
taste so strong. So you're getting the poisons concentrated, right? Not good. So probably the safest condiment you could probably use and get away with would be mustard. But I don't even
Yeah,
do that.
yellow
Maybe
mustard. Yeah, yeah.
a little yellow mustard with a meat every now and then wouldn't hurt. But I prefer, this is the condiment that I use, is sour cream with salt.
Ooh, I have to
And
try that.
and the other thing is you can make your own mayonnaise, and you can make bacon mayonnaise. I have a recipe for that with egg yolk and bacon fat, or you can do it with duck fat or whatever fat you want, animal fat. Make an animal fat based mayonnaise, and then you can use that to make chicken salad or egg salad, and that's fantastic. So, and that I put a little vinegar in when I do it. Okay, that's
Ooh,
the only
yeah.
thing I put in. So, it's a good way of doing that. So those are the condiments I would use. I would, if mustard is your bridge to full on carnivore, and that's the only corner you're cutting, I'd be okay with that to start with. But it's not a long term thing. It's like people drinking coffee. If that's your bridge to get to full carnivore, and that's the only thing you're cutting, then okay, the plan on getting rid of it in the future and roll with it while you do. But I can tell you, it does make a difference to get rid of it.
It does. Yeah.
Got another question. Edema and left leg, putting weight on, not losing. What could this be? So my questions would be, how long have you been doing carnivore, and what does carnivore look like to you on a daily basis? And this is not a weight loss diet. Now, weight loss typically does happen, but like, what's your daily routine? Are you snacking all day long? Are you eating, I don't know, a lot of cheese, right? A lot of dairy. Is dairy heavy in your diet? These are things that can make you put weight on. What do you think, John?
Yeah, a lot of people, any symptoms that you have for swelling or puffiness or the tissue right under the skin near your legs and arms, it could be one little thing that you haven't taken out that you didn't really think about that's plant related. It could be the smallest thing. Stuff that doesn't bother Larry or me might bother another person. It might cause something like edema. So examine what you're eating. The first thing Larry asked you, what are your meals? Is
Yeah.
there something that you add that you can if you just take it out? I'll tell you something that I did. I'm full carnivore, but I love dairy, but I can't do a
Yeah.
lot of dairy, right? So I was putting a little too much dairy in, and I noticed I was having some issues with my bowels and putting on a little weight. So I took it completely out, eliminated all dairy, and I just used, non-dairy products. And all of a sudden, everything cleared up and fixed. And so that's all it was. It was so easy for me to figure that out. So look at what you have and examine and say, what can I take out? And, observe your body, see if your edema gets better.
Yeah, and then you might want to check with your doctor. I mean, 'cause
Yeah.
that could be a condition that needs looking at by a medical. I mean, we don't know. We're not doctors, like I said. So you might want to check that out. It doesn't sound normal to me, so wouldn't hurt to have someone look at it that knows what they're looking at. But I would say that for most people, the carnivore diet is the answer. And usually just removing more types of food is the proper way to figure out what's causing it. That's the thing. So you can post your answer in there to this, by the way, if you want to, expand a little bit, we can maybe give us more information. That wouldn't hurt. Are either of you familiar with boron micronutrient? Meat Medic was discussing benefits of boron. I am not. I'm sure
I am not either. I've heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I mean, I know boron I was a nuclear engineer, so boron is what we use as a poison in the reactor. I know this is totally off topic, but basically what happens when we want to shut down a nuclear reaction, we put the rods in. The rods have boron and they absorb neutrons that are the right speed, called fast neutrons at 2.7 mega electron volts. And what they do, and those are the ones that are required to make fission. So they basically shut fission down.
Wow.
You drop in boron. So boron I use for that. But all I would say is I don't dive that deep into this stuff. Like if you think about what lions do in the wild,
they don't think about.
Do they break their paw and figure out how much they're going to eat of liver or how much they're going to eat of fruit or whatever they're going to? No, they just eat until they're satiated and stop, and they eat the proper food. And I think as long as you're eating red meats, you're eating
species specific,
meat and fat heavy diet, you're going to be okay. And people just get too. I mean, if you want to geek out over it, that's great. I just don't do that.
We see all these, like there's another one, I forget what it was, selenium. You need selenium. Well, I'm getting my selenium. I'm getting my boron. I'm getting my iron. I'm getting my calcium. I'm getting everything in the micro amounts that I need from the meat that I'm eating. Now, some people say that magnesium is low in the crops. And so when the cattle eat the grass, there's not a lot of magnesium in the meat, and maybe we have to supplement. Blood work would tell that for sure. And then you can choose a supplement. So I don't know about boron though.
Yeah, and drinking mineral water will help.
Mineral water, yeah.
So
electrolytes.
And the other thing is this. I mean, I get it that we're all getting really health conscious, which is fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that. But were we this worried when we were eating pizza and ice cream? We didn't even think about it, right? Yeah. And we were just like, eat a burger at McDonald's, go get a pizza, have a salad with seed oil all over it for a dressing with sugar and seed oil, and think that was, and not even worry about it, and we were fine. So I think we're going to be okay. Now, can we optimize? Sure, maybe we can. I'm just not that much into dialing it in my personal self, though. Okay, salt for me. Sometimes sour cream as well for dipping meat into. Yeah, I do the sour cream dip. And then occasionally I will do goat cheese, which I do like goat cheese. Not the honey stuff, just regular goat cheese. I like that. So I'll spread that on stuff as a condiment sometimes. Or maybe blue cheese, like blue cheese on a burger. That's a nice one. Or on a steak.
Yeah, pungent blue cheese. I love blue cheese. Gotta watch it. I love blue cheese. I like cheese too much.
Yeah, me too. You guys just be careful, right?
Yeah.
Take boron because of fat. Yeah, because of that. Okay, I watched Meat Medic episode. Take boron because of that. Okay, that's fine. I'm sure there's not a problem with it.
Be careful because when we watch these shows and they say, oh, vitamin C is so good for you, take a lot of vitamin C. Well, if you take you're not hearing all of the message. Do your own research on it. Don't just listen to what one person said on a special show. Too much vitamin C converts to oxalate, and we don't want oxalate because that's the stuff
Right.
that's in spinach and that's way too high and people get a kidney stone. So you need to take everything that you hear and take it further and do your research and then try things.
So Molly says 5 months meat, salt, and water, no dairy. So then you just got to look at how many times a day are you eating. You basically, if you're putting weight on, are you getting exercise? Are you walking outside? Are you, there's things you can do to dial in. But I would say make sure you're not snacking all day, because that you're getting those insulin spikes all day long. That's going to be a problem too. So and then maybe look into more ruminant meats and less of the white meats or the chicken, because a lot of people have histamine reactions to that too. So, and pork. So the ruminant meats are usually your cleanest. So that's just what I would say. This is what I present as best practices, as taught to me by like people like Anthony Chafee and Dr. Berry. These are just best practices, right? Not everyone's going to. Judy Cho has a great channel where she dives into all these exotic one-offs, which there's a lot. This N=1 is a real thing. So, when we say beef, salt, and water works for everyone, well, not exactly. It does as a general rule. It's a best practice, but some people do have underlying medical conditions that require some short treatment of different types. And watch her channel. She's great. Judy Cho is fantastic. Got a lot of good stuff on there. Very interesting. For me, I love to watch it just because that's when I geek out to see, wow, let's look at the exceptions and see what she's found. But the best practices are what it's all about. And that's what, like, I have a Facebook group. A lot of you guys are probably on it. Some of you aren't. And the group's called the Carnivore Diet Exchange on Facebook. If you're not on it, you want to check it out, great, go ahead. When you sign up, I have a rules, and the rules say that you agree that on this group, we're going to talk about carnivore diet best practices, which I consider to be beef, butter, salt, water, eggs, no sweeteners. These are just best practices, right? Trying to get off coffee. These are things that are just best practices. No condiments, no sugar at all, no sweeteners. And I've had people complain. In fact, I just had a guy complain the other day saying, well, this is a cult, it's a religion. I'm like, listen, just go to another website. There's plenty of keto websites out there. You don't have to come to mine and try to do keto stuff, right? And the other thing you can do is you can start your own channel, start your own group, and bring all the people in that you want that'll agree with what you want. I'm not the only reason I keep mine to best practices is because I don't want new people coming in and get confused by different I'd say different people talking about like how they do their carnivore, right? And when it's clearly not a best practice, like, oh, I put honey in my coffee. Well, listen, that's great. Just go do it in a keto thing where you're doing under 20 grams a day. It's not carnivore best practices. And if you want best results, typically you do best practices with anything in life. What do you think, John?
I agree 100%, Larry. 100%. If they're reading that somebody said, oh, honey is great, I put honey, and they're reading it from your Facebook group, and then somebody walks off and they go buy honey because they saw it there. That was not your intent as the owner of that Facebook group, and it is not good. Honey's going to start up an addiction to sweet things again, for sure.
Yeah, and on my group, if you do go there, you'll see where people do post stuff like that. And I don't block it or delete it. I respond to it. And I say, this is not for this group. And here's why. Because I want people to understand. And that way it serves as a marker like, okay, this group, we don't talk like that. We don't share recipes that have poblano peppers and stuff in it. Because, it's fine. That's a ketovore or keto. That's
another group.
Wrong. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with people doing that. If you want to do peppers and you can handle them and your diet, you're well into your diet. I know guys in my group that are well into their diet, 3 years in, totally successful, reverse type 2 diabetes, all their life's going great. They do poblano peppers every now and then. Fine. That's great. Just don't introduce them into the group because there's new people that don't understand that's a different position to be in. Right. And once you've got your body dialed in for over a year, which I'm about a year, and you want to start reintroducing things like that, that's fine. You can do, let's try this out. I would never do sugar, but I may do peppers. Like I do chili every now and then with my freezer burned meat, which has seasoning in it, which, chili powder has, different, I don't know, all kinds of different stuff in there. So there's paprika in there. There's onion. So there are some things in there that I make this chili And there's tomatoes that get stewed and then cook all day long, so all the poisons come out pretty much. But still, they are nightshades. So I do stuff like that. Now, did I do it the first 3 months I was doing this? No, I didn't do anything like that. This is something I do later, and I don't. And I used to love it, and I don't love it as much anymore. So now I find myself making a chili, and I put it in the freezer, and I bust it out when it's really cold, and I don't feel like cooking or something. But I really don't eat it very often. I don't like it as much.
Huh.
I prefer the ribeye or the burger patty fresh now.
There's nothing finer than a really good steak, the way you like it cooked with a sear on the outside with just the right amount of salt. I never get tired of that flavor.
I don't either. And it's always like a new day. It's like a sunrise every day. It's beautiful and different every day, but it's always beautiful, right? It's always like a great thing. And to me, the steak's the same way. Dave Saunier says, Carney teacher, John, been watching a lot of your recent uploads. Really good stuff. Enjoyed the chicken wings episode.
As we said, don't eat too much chicken.
Yeah.
And I wrote, and I said in my how I make chicken wings that I only have them maybe once a week, because chicken is a monogastric stomach animal.
Yeah.
It's better to have animal meat that comes from a ruminant animal. So I will have pork maybe once a week or chicken once a week. Yeah. And I did a how to make my chicken wings video. And what I did is I coat them in butter and bacon. And then I put them on the grill, and they're so good.
And bacon's really the main pork that I eat. I don't really eat pork chops like I used to. I used to love pork chops. And I would eat smoked pork chops now. But okay, Lucia Young, she might be a medical background. She says, Malia, make sure it's not a blood clot if it's only one leg swelling. That's what my concern was, that if there's one leg swelling, you might want to go get it checked out. So it's probably not an idea. Supposedly boron helps with testosterone. Okay, that may be. It's hard. Our bodies are so complex.
They are. All the hormones work off of each other.
Yeah. And, I mean, maybe boron is, but like if you take boron in the absence of something else,
it doesn't work.
That doesn't work. I mean, and you need to. So I just don't go down the supplement personally.
Like I know zinc doesn't work without copper. Copper doesn't work without zinc. And potassium works with sodium, and there's the sodium potassium pump. Like a lot of things depend on other things to work. So if you just don't think about it and eat meat, you're okay.
So I do take iodine, and that's because it's iodine lacking in the soil as well, right? So maybe this is akin to that. Maybe I don't know if there's boron and iodine. I have no idea. Maybe iodine's just iodine, but yeah, I'm not saying that it's not. I'll take a look at it, but I just try not to supplement too much. And you think about different tribes in different areas, and how are they living without supplementing? And they're doing. Thing is, also I feel fantastic. I listen to my body.
Yeah, body signals.
So I'll definitely check it out, but I just don't geek out too much.
We overthink things. We it's crazy.
We get excited too, right?
We get excited. We micromanage. I want to control it, and you don't have to control it. Just eat meat and eggs.
Dave Saunier, he was really geeking out at first because he's a lean mass hyperresponder and a athlete, so he's really geeking out on his cholesterol. And when he first started this journey, but now he's totally relaxed and just chillaxed.
It's easy to geek out when every message in the world tells you to have high LDL is bad, and it's actually reverse. High LDL means we have a longer life expectancy, in the absence of sugar and carbs and a high HDL and low triglycerides.
Fred's my paratrooper, and another veteran. Dave's a veteran too, Navy chief. Yeah, down to 1 cup. Congrats, man.
Cool.
That's good. Yeah. You're getting there, right?
That's the best way to do it slowly. That way you don't get a headache.
Yeah. Day 395, going OMAD past 2 weeks, just not hungry till 2 p.m. Seems to help me lose a little more in the waist. Yeah, it will. Yeah. That's minimizing your insulin spikes definitely does help. Not getting off coffee. That mean I'm getting kicked out? No,
you're gone. No.
No, and the coffee things, like I said, there are bridges that are available that are okay. Yeah. But when you start saying honey and cooking with peppers and stuff like this, make sure. I don't want new people to come in and think that's okay, but that's because there's a lot of confusion. You just look at Dr. Paladino or Saladino, the confusion he's brought in a lot of confusion into these communities, and a lot of people thought, well, here's a doctor, he's doing honey, so I can do it. And they did it, and they slipped down and fell completely off the diet because they got addicted again, and they are trying to manage their addiction rather than just defeat it. So I don't want, and there's plenty of carnivore groups out there that allow that, which is great. Go there and do that. And if you want to be part of them and part of me too, just stay on my site and just stick to the BBB&E and the basics. That's all I'm saying. You know, or make your own group. Doesn't matter. And if you don't want to be a part of my group, fine, leave my group. It's not gonna. It's not for me. I didn't put the group together for me, so I could be like managing it all and stuff. I don't need another job. This is a group where we can discuss, and that's why I don't delete those comments. I post them and then comment on them because it is a discussion. But I will call out stuff that I think's wrong. All right, let's see. I noticed I don't sneeze anymore on BBB, so my allergies went away completely. John, did you have allergies before?
I ragweed allergy. But when I was a kid, I got a bunch of shots that made my body used to the ragweed. Now, here's an interesting thing. When I was doing sugar substitutes, this is back when I was doing keto, stevia is molecularly very similar to ragweed. And because I was allergic to ragweed, every time I had the smallest amount of stevia, I would have a horrible headache for a whole day. And of course, I learned about it on Google. And I'm like, fascinating. Damn, I can't have stevia. Well, darn, I can't have stevia. Good. Right. So what I do, I switched to monk fruit. Right.
Yeah.
And now I'm off the monk fruit. I don't, it just keeps me addicted. You're absolutely what you just said, Larry. You've got to get off of it completely so it doesn't control you and you stop thinking about it.
Yeah. Moby says sneezes more on BBB&E. Well, maybe it is the bacon.
Could be. Some people
could be, or the eggs. People have reaction to eggs and bacon.
The egg whites. Yeah.
So that's possible. How to tell is to cut out the bacon at first and then cut out the eggs.
And observe your body.
And add them back in once at a time, or maybe cut both out and add one in after maybe 30 or 48 once your sneezing goes away. Just do salt and beef, do lion for a little bit, and then jump back on, introduce them. That's the way you tell. That's the easiest way. That's what I did.
Sneezing sounds like it's connected to histamines. So maybe,
So I would say probably pork, and it could be something they cure the bacon in too, because the bacon's
it's cured.
Cured and stuff. So it's got more, it's dirtier than eggs. I'll tell you that typically. Yeah. People believe honey is good because of Paul Saladino promoting it. Correct. And that's confusing. It's a counter narrative. And I know it's false because anyone that's lived it knows it's false. Like John, he was just saying, it's easy to fall off. You cannot do the.
I think I said this to you like last time. I used to do goat cheese. You know, I'm off the dairy now, but the goat cheese, and I bought the wrong goat cheese one time. It looked the same. I put it in my eggs because I always put a little, like a teaspoon of it in my eggs because it's really good with eggs. All of a sudden, these eggs were like ice cream to me. I mean, it was so sweet. Literally. I ran back and I'm like, shit, it says honey on there. I didn't even notice that. Damn it. So yeah, I mean, and I was loving it like I was loving ice cream. That's how good the honey was to my brain. It was just too much. Yep.
Dave Saunier says dairy's not a problem for him, and that's the N equals 1 thing. So everyone has to figure that out for themselves, right? And also the histamine reactions to pork and to cheese and to eggs can go away. This is something I learned from Judy Cho. It could be because your body is in a healing transition mode that the histamine reactions happen. And once you get past that, you can try reintroducing them and the histamine will not have that reaction. So that's very interesting. So it's not like a death sentence to pork, right? You may cut it out, go lion for 90 days, come back and re-add it and see if it
and try it.
Yeah. So these are things you can do. All right. Ketovore Crystal. Larry's right on pointing out was optimal for carnivore. Yeah, that's what you want to do. Got a 1500 Fahrenheit infrared oven. Wow, that's really hot.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. I'd love to check it out. I've never seen one. That's cool.
That like the one that Sean Baker uses?
Does he use one like that?
He has a pro. I forget what it's called, and it shoots the flames on top of the steak really hot. Yeah,
it must cook them really fast. Yeah. Chicken bones. You're in trouble now.
Chicken and pork sparingly. Yeah.
And I'm having an N equals 1 to see what chicken does my LDL level. See, there you go. Once you get to a baseline, you have to establish a baseline, though. And establishing a baseline takes at least 100 days, I think, of clean carnivore. And then you can do things like add things in, remove
You do,
things.
but what are you trying to see about your LDL level? Are you trying to make it go
Yeah,
lower, thinking high is bad?
that's
That's
true, too.
misinformation. High LDL is not bad.
Cottage cheese queso. I'm not. I
That
don't know
sounds
anything
good.
about it. It sounds good. I might have to check it out. If you have a link to it, post it in here because I might check that out. Let's see. Question, Larry. Have you seen the young high school girl on Dr. Ovita's channel? Amazing young girl releasing a documentary, her high school project, Austin, Texas, based on cancer preventing using keto. I have not, Dave, but I will. You'll need to share that with me because I want to check that out. That'd be great to get her on. Or I don't know if she's a young high school girl. I don't know if she'll be on YouTube, but it'd be great to interview someone like that. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, post the URL, right, Fred? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can post the URL. Yes, Grace. I guess her name's Grace Price. Inspiring, hopeful for the next generation. Great interview with Dr. Ovita.
Great. Avadi is great.
Avadi.
I met
Avadi
him.
is a heart surgeon, right?
Yes, he is. He wrote a book, Stay Off My Operating Table.
Stay off my table.
And a heart of gold. I met the guy in person at the
He's a really good guy.
What a good guy, yeah.
Aged beef has histamine. Yes. So this is something that some people have reactions to too, including Michaela Peterson. She has to have fresh beef. She cannot have aged beef.
And
I have no problem with it.
And a lot of people who make bone broth, I did a video on how to make bone broth. I cook it really long on a really high temperature. That raises the histamine levels of the bone broth. And some people are sensitive to histamines. And they, my friend Monique Attinger, she's very sensitive. So she cooks it on low for a shorter time. It doesn't get as gelatin-like a bone broth, but she still, it has less histamine. So you can do it that way. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm lucky. I'm blessed that I don't have that issue. But I like to know about that stuff because I run into people all the time that do, and I'd love to
have the advice.
Give them ideas like, hey, like I was saying before, I watch videos on people that have one kidney or don't have a gallbladder, and I have both those. I'm fine. I have a gallbladder and 2 kidneys, but I do it because I'm going to run into people that ask that question. Hey, I want to do this, but I don't have a gallbladder. Can I do it? And it's like, yeah, of course you can. Yeah. Here's why. And here's some videos. So it's always good to have a couple of videos you can save that you can share with people that that because people are going to have those questions. And I think, we need to have an arsenal of information we can share out and kind of, I guess, overcome those objections that they're in their head that are going right now, really easily, because they are easily overcome. Okay. I replaced coffee in the AM with beef broth and a quarter stick of butter with electrolyte salt. That's what I did that's exactly what I did. I had beef broth every morning I didn't do a quarter stick of butter. That's a lot, but I love butter. I did a tablespoon of butter, but still, that sounds good. That would be great. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. That's really good. And I check this out. I used smoked salt, Redmond smoked salt in mine. It's got a little more bite to it. And with coffee, it's great. Not coffee replacement. It's great. With beef broth with smoked salt and butter, good stuff.
Redmond rocks. I like a lot of Redmond's products, not just their salt. They've got a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. So so I'm, like I said, I'm a year in, and I'm going to I saw a video on carnivore tacos, and they're using the Redmond taco seasoning. So it's mostly salt, but has a couple of things in it. And you'd basically make a shredded beef and then make the taco shell out of cheese. Yeah, that you fry. And I'm gonna do those for my son this weekend, I think. Good. So, or next weekend when he comes over. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to try those. And it's very lightly seasoned. You don't do heavy seasoning. It's just, well, that's the other thing. When you've been on this way of eating, you don't need as much seasoning. You put a little seasoning, you taste it immediately. It is, wow, it's almost overpowering because you've been off and just having salt. So yeah. Blue cheese. Okay, blue cheese, my favorite. So we're back there. Yeah, I love blue cheese. Link to the interview. Okay, there's a link to the video for anyone who wants. It's in the description. So you can always go back and get it because it'll be in this conversation stored on this video. LDL is 365. Have plenty of room to play. Yeah. Larry, get your son introduced to her ASAP. Yeah. She's a little older than my son. He's only 14, so. I'm sure he'd be, yeah, but it'd be great for them to meet up at KetoCon because he'll be at KetoCon with me. My son will.
And I'm going to be there, Larry. I bought my ticket,
Nice.
so I get to meet you and the owner in person, and Anthony Chafee and all these cool people. I think Sean Baker's going to be there, and
John Baker's going to be there. Yep.
Yeah.
Dr. Kiltz will be there.
great to get to meet him.
Dr. Wiedemann,
All
the female eye doctor. She's yeah, it's me. Dave Saunier will be there. I know that.
I'm anxious to meet everybody.
It's going to be a lot
fun.
of fun.
Yeah,
it is. It's going to be some good quality time. Carnivore Soldier, please watch Dr. Barry's video on LDL and say that shows recommended low levels show increased mortality. Yeah, low levels. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you got there's a protective function of LDL, and I know Dr. Zoe
Harcum.
She talks about that and details it, and so does Dr. Diamond, right?
Yeah, David Diamond does.
David Diamond, they both do. It's excellent. There's so much information out there. It's fantastic. So I'm just not worried about that stuff. I love Redmond salt. Yeah, me too. Redmond salt's good stuff. And I had someone like complaining, like, "Oh, but it's got all this lead in there," and I'm like, "Okay,
very
all right." I'm like, "And how much salt are you eating? Where you have to worry about the? I mean, I get it. Lead is a heavy metal, and it builds up over time, but it's much less lead than you were eating in the other salt, and whatever you were eating probably in your regular diet had all kinds of crap in there. So if the salt is going to be the only source, you're going to get a little bit of lead. Oh well. I mean, I'm not. All these MDs are doing it, and they're eating Redmond salt,
right?
So I'm not really worried. They understand the risk, I'm sure.
And there are other salts, and I've seen the chart with Redmond and like 5 other salts, and how Redmond compared to the other ones is a little higher in lead. And so switch your salt then if you're concerned.
That's true.
Yeah,
but don't jump on people and tell them they have to because the salt, the lead's going to kill them. That's false, right? I mean, it's I don't know. People get just too
we fixate on things, and sometimes we don't need to go there.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I know, like we said, we're all looking to get healthy, and and that's what's great about this community too, is everyone is really in it to be healthy and to live life to their best. But we don't we don't have to get that detailed, and it's fun to geek out too. But all right, so that's all I got on that. Anything? What are you doing on your channel this week, man? You got any videos? I know you're making your cooking videos again, right?
Well, I've been putting up. I go into my hard drive and I pull out an old one that I made and I resubmit it, and I even write, this is a restored video, and then I put a couple new ones up. I lost all my how to do videos, so I've been refilming from scratch how to make bone broth soup, or how to make bone broth, how to make chicken wings, how I season my cast iron skillet, little things like that. I've been putting them up. And I had an interview with DC a couple days ago. So that'll be coming out as soon as he releases that. So a lot of good stuff getting up on my channel. I'm real happy about.
Good deal. And this is his channel at Carnivore Teacher 1965. So everyone go check it out. Share it out on social media too. So if you're on groups, go ahead and share it. Say, hey, check this guy. Share one of his videos on Facebook or whatever you're on social media. It's always
appreciate
good to share
it. Got almost 50 new subscribers in 1 week. So I'm really pleased that people are coming back.
That's great. So the 24th, which is coming up in 3 days, I'm interviewing Robin Switzer. She's the CEO of KetoCon.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave us our own discount code. It's just Carnivore Soldier, all caps. So when you're checking out, you can get $50 off by using that, or you can use the Hack Your Health or HYH50, which is shorter. It's capital HYH50. Either one of those work. I don't get any credit for this or anything, so it's not like it's no big deal. I don't care if you use HYH50 or Carnivore Soldier. I just want whatever's easiest to remember. Carnivore Soldier is probably pretty easy to remember. But HYH50 is what I use.
I used the Carnivore Soldier and got my discount. It worked right at the end, right when you're ready to check out. You type it in all caps.
That's nice. Yeah. And we don't, like I said, I'm not getting any kickbacks or any credit or anything. I paid full price for my tickets. Of course, I bought my tickets months ago, so I got them for $150. So, they were $200 with $50 off. So that's cool. So that's happening Saturday. I'll be interviewing her, and she will be on the I think the following Hump Day meetup. I think she might be on the 28th. We'll see. Or no, she's in March. She'd be the first one in March, I think, like March 8th or something. So tonight we were supposed to have Meeting Wellness on, Christy, but she had another thing come up, and it would have been great to have the two teachers on. But she will be on next Hump Day on the 28th. She'll be
good.
on.
Can I come again?
Yeah, you can come again, sure.
I want to meet her. I have to keep asking. I was like, may I come back?
Yeah, no. People, listen, you're not the only one to ask. Other people contact me and ask. And if anyone out there has a YouTube channel or wants to join us with discussion, please reach out to me, carnivoresoldier@gmail.com. And, definitely it's an open channel, so it's not, if you guys want to join up and check it out, let me know and we can bring you on. Crystal Firestone says she's going to be a volunteer at Hack Your Health. So be sure to say hi, Granny Carnivore. Oh, great. Granny Carnivore is actually a member of my channel too. All right. Looking forward to that. So she supports my channel, which is fantastic. I appreciate you, Granny. Crystal Firestone, great. So we will definitely be looking for you. We can link up. Maybe it'd be fun to, we're going to get a in-person meetup outside of the convention too, maybe at a barbecue place or something. Just meet up.
I'm up for that.
Yeah, I want to meet up with a lot of people that are coming in and the locals that we have. Now, on my also next month on the 16th, I think. Let me check. I have an in-person meetup for my 1-year carniversary. So that will be on the 16th at 3 p.m., I believe, and it's here in Georgetown, Texas. So if you're local and you can swing by and get some great barbecue and meet up with us. Last time we had a lot of people there. It was fantastic. I think we had 20 people there or so. Looking forward to having a bunch of people. I know some people are coming from far away, which is great. Don't feel obligated, but if you're in the area and you want to meet up with some carnivores, it's really fun to just sit there and talk and meet people face to face. It builds those bonds that are so important, I think, in this community. All right. So that's basically all I got. It's 56 minutes in. We got a few more minutes if you guys have any more questions. I know it went by fast.
It goes by fast.
I was gone for 10 minutes, I think.
We need Carnivore Crystal to understand when you put two teachers in the room together. I think Larry's going to get pushed to the side. We never shut up about our job.
I'll just leave and come back every now and then.
No, we have to be careful. When I meet with my teacher friends, I'm retired now, but we still all meet up. It's like, it's like a reunion, but that's all we talk about.
Well, the veterans are the same thing. And the veterans, we start talking about veteran stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And any spouses that are there, they just fade to the edges because they can't talk, because they're not the teachers.
Yeah.
So hopefully we won't go off too much on teacher stuff and focus on just carnivore. She's interviewing me later next month too. So I'm anxious to give that interview.
Yeah, she's great. Let's see. I hope we all can meet up and have dinner, steaks together. So, okay, there's a couple places. There's a place called Cooper's Barbecue. And this is inside baseball for y'all that are watching, that are going. Cooper's Barbecue is very close. It's like a mile away from the convention center. And the original one is in Llano, Texas, but there's one downtown. But they have smoked reverse seared ribeyes that are amazing. Now, they are not cheap. We're talking $60 ribeye, but it is an experience. So if you want the full Texas experience, Cooper's is legit barbecue, legit smoked ribeye. Now, there's also a place, it's a Brazilian steakhouse called Casa do Brasil. And that one is 10, 15 minutes away by car. So you can do Uber, you can either catch a ride with somebody or do an Uber. And Casa do Brasil has a lunch special on the weekends, a brunch special for $41 for the full menu, which the full menu is normally 60 to 70 bucks. So the full menu is all the meat you can eat, where they come around with swords and they cut off the meat to your plate. And you have like a green and a red thing you put on the table. And if you flip it to green, they're just going to start dropping meat on your plate, which is fantastic.
And some of the suckers in the restaurant go to the salad bar first and fill up before they
stay away from the salad bar. They have some cheeses over there. You can but don't even waste
save your stomach space for the meat. Yeah.
Do not waste your time, because you're going to get lamb. You're going to get
good stuff.
Beef. You're going to get all this great. I mean, there's so many. It's so much good food. So I plan on doing a meetup at Casa do Brasil, probably for a lunch. Run over there for an hour or so and organize a group So, I'll start organizing that as probably in April. Probably a few weeks before I'll start figuring out who's going to go, if we want to go, when and where, and we'll do a run out there to some meat. I don't know about that's cheaper than the steak, right? At Cooper's, but the steak at Cooper's is an experience. If you got a little extra money and want to try something amazing it's uniquely Texas, then go to Cooper's and get ribeye.
I'm gonna do both, because when I'm on vacation, that's gonna be considered a vacation. When I'm
Yeah,
flying somewhere and I'm on vacation, I spend money on good food. Yeah.
yeah, and the thing is, we're not. One of the things we talk about being carnivore food is not the experience, right? But in this case,
Well,
because it's Texas,
when you're sitting with other carnivores that you're meeting from long distance, and I would love
yeah,
to have a great
yeah,
steak with you, Larry.
yeah, it'd be fun. And
Yeah.
the great thing about Texas barbecue is it's just smoke and salt. They put some pepper on it, but I mean
Yeah.
that's all it is. There's no sauce. If you have to put sauce on your barbecue in Texas, it is not good quality.
You still have to
barbecue.
ask them not to wipe the grill with seed oil or anything, because the
No, it's
restaurants up
smoke.
here, you
It's a
have to
smoke
tell
grill.
them. All right.
If you're gonna, yeah, no, if you're gonna go to a regular restaurant, yes.
All right.
But if you're gonna now Casa do Brasil, you're not gonna be able to tell them. But they have it on spit. You can
Yeah.
see they're
Oh,
running on.
that's
spit.
right.
So
They do. They come out to the table
yeah,
with
they're
this.
bringing the spits out, so you don't have to worry about that. But the barbecues are smoke pits, right? So
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
they're
So
not
they're
going to
not
do
using
that. So yeah, we'll break steak together. I like that. Yeah, I've been lowering fat intake for the last 2 months. Have blood work ready to schedule. So okay, he's just doing an experiment. He's not
All
worried
right.
about stuff. He's just, and then he's talking about doing the Oreo diet. So okay, yeah, he's probably a lean mass hyper responder too. Then I imagine, right? Bruce, are you a lean mass hyper responder? Is that what's going on here? I don't have to worry about that, but I'm not worried about any. Listen, you can really tell a lot about your health by how you feel, and I feel freaking amazing.
Yeah. Body signals are huge. I'm a lean mass hyper responder. My LDL is 390. It was 405 a year before, and my doctor, and I just tell him, I said, put it in the chart that you told me I have to have it, and I refused it, and he's cool.
Yeah.
The statin, and I've never felt better, and my HDL is high too, and my triglycerides are low, so I feel great. My CAC score is 0. So
yeah, that's the thing.
There
CAC
you go.
Score. If you're really concerned, just get a CAC check, and they'll tell you what your calcium is. And if you got low or 0 CAC, you're healthy. You don't have to worry about. Then it doesn't matter. In fact, you want the higher LDL.
You want high.
The protective effect, right? So. Yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, he thinks he's a lean mass hyper responder. Yeah, could be. I don't, like I said, I don't geek out on it. Like I go on the way I feel, and I think Dr. Chafee does too. I don't think he does a lot of blood work or anything.
He says he doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you can really trust your body once your body's running properly, right? Which it wasn't, but now that it is, I think we can really trust hunger signals, satiation signals, illness signals. Like if you're really feeling sick,
we can distinguish between the ones much better now. We see them, we can feel them for what they really are. And they're, when you ate the other diet, you were getting all kinds of signals that were probably food related and not real body signals.
Yeah, and then you're battling addiction, or you weren't even battling
that too. Exactly.
You were in throes of addiction. You're not battling it. You were just in addiction.
For Bruce, triglycerides, if you're on, they say if you're under 150, you're okay.
Yeah, see, CAC is 0 for Bruce. 80. Yeah, you're good.
There
man.
you go. You're good.
You're just playing. That's fine.
You're
you can
clean.
Play with your numbers.
Good for you.
Good for you, man. CAC 0, you're good. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
He's in the club. Yeah. Fred is a paratrooper, and he's fighting cancer. So
oh wow.
When you talk about a why, and this is the thing a lot of people lack.
There's a why.
People that fall off. There's a why, right? And your why should be, if you don't have cancer and you don't have heart disease and you're healthy right now, this is your why to stay on it. Because I tell you what, I don't fear those things like I did. I may still get cancer. You never know, but I don't fear it. I know I have people like Fred. I have people like DC in my life who I can talk direct to, say, hey, how did you beat this thing? How did you handle it? How did you get everything on normal and diet? And, it's pretty obvious what you have to do, but it's a lot easier to make those decisions if you have a real hard why, right? So that's something I always harp on. And, I talk about that check in the escrow account. Write yourself that check. That could be your why. If you don't have one, make one up. You know, because I tell you what, it's worth it. It's totally worth it. All right. Well, I think that's all I got. Let's see. He's just playing with his numbers. Yeah, he's just goofing off. That's fine, Bruce. That's great. No, that's fantastic. Congratulations. I'm CAC score 0 is perfect. I have not had mine done yet. I will sooner or later, but
I had to pay for it. My insurance wouldn't pick it up. I paid $125, and I said I'll pay for it out of pocket.
Totally worth it, right?
I want to know what it is. And now that I'm 0, I don't feel like I need to do it for the next couple of years. You know, if I was higher, I would want to check it in another year and see if my way of eating lowered it, but I'm good to go. So it's nice to have the knowledge, and you feel confident. And if I get cancer, God forbid, I have people, like you said, I can talk to, I could contact.
We got doctors too. Like doctors. I could contact Anthony Chafee directly, and he would answer me. I know, which is amazing, right? I mean,
it's cool.
It's cool stuff. So anyway, yeah, Fred's doing great. Fantastic. Waiting clearance for stem cell treatment up in Nashville. Fantastic. Nashville's a pretty town, by the way. It's nice to visit. At least I haven't been there in a decade. I shouldn't say that. It used to be a nice little town. I used to like Nashville. I don't know what it's like now. I know a lot of cities have fallen in disrepair and kind of like bad. But so yeah, you can drink milk to get your, like you do your Oreo thing, whatever. You guys are playing. All right, Dave.
They want to see if we're going to throw them off.
Yeah. And by the way, anyone that's watching that stuff, we're not doing Oreos in the carnivore diet. That's not part of drinking milk and all this stuff. This and no string beans, none of this stuff. Right? This is just guys goofing off. All right, this is not carnivore diet.
Yeah.
All right, Crystal Firestone getting off. Let's see. 4 years ago, mine was 0. I may do it again soon. Yeah, why not? Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, I think this is it. I'm going to drop you out. John, stick around. We'll say goodbye real quick. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Just another great discussion. Appreciate you guys stopping by and supporting. Please share these videos out. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And all I got to say now is stay strong for another week and overcome. Carnivore Soldier out.